Hi guys, what's up YouTube? This is Quick Bob Hero here with my first ORAS Wi-Fi battle. This is my first, but hopefully won't be my last. I do get a few good opponents now in Wi-Fi, so I hope this is more, at least you get to see it more often, because I really like the visuals, and it just makes the battle feel a lot more, I feel a lot more comfortable narrating Wi-Fi battles for some reason. But yeah, so this is against a guy known as RacoonGreg. He has a Clefable, a Ferrothorn, a Latias, a Mega Gyarados, well, I would assume in Team Preview, because he has a Garchomp and Mega Latias, and those aren't common Megas, and Gyarados just gets buffed so much, especially since it looks more like a bulky offense team, and I would assume that Garchomp would be like an SR set or a Tank Chomp, and Ferrothorn would be spikes that, well, it wouldn't really be any other way than Mega Gira. So yeah, Mega Giratina O needs to be OU though, real talk. I don't know. It wasn't that bad. Anyways, that was a completely different tangent. So I see that, and all I see is that his team gets wrecked by Mega DNC, and my goal is to support it. So I have Pokemon like Infernape, which is a mix set, Defog Latios with Roost, so just make sure hazards are off so DNC doesn't get damaged too much. 3 attacks, Diggersby with Sword Stance, Return, Earthquake, Quick Attack, all that stuff, because it's just a good cleaner. It has Focus Sash, so if say Gyarados sets up, then I can just return it, Quick Attack, it's rip. Scizor 3 attacks with Roost because I need something to send in fairies. And it has Pursuit over Knockoff. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because it has such a big role in the match. And oh yeah, it has U-turn because it's a good pivot. Because as you can tell, my team doesn't really have a lot of U-turners. So that's what Scizor's for. It's a really good pivot. And I have Dragonite, which is Choice Banded, E-Speed, Outrage. Don't really need to say much about that. So yeah, my team's more of a offensive. It's barely qualifies as bulk. It's the bulkier hyper offense. I don't really know how to describe it. It's really offensive. So I'm expecting a Garchomp lead or maybe a Ferrothorn lead, but either way I can just send out Scizor if it sends out Ferrothorn, if he sends out Ferrothorn. So I can just send out DNC, and if he sends out Garchomp, that's great for me. So yeah, that's what I end up doing, and let's get straight into the match. So my opponent does end up playing with Garchomp as I lead out with my DNC. Turn 1, I decided to just go for the Protect because while he does send out Ferrothorn, it's better than him staying in, and he goes for the Earthquake, and then my win condition basically dies. So I don't want to do that. I'm going to go for the Protect, and I'll just have to hold off Stealth Rocks because DNC is my Stealth Rocks user. So I'm going to send out, go out to Scizor. It's safer than Infernape. I don't want to risk any Gyro Ball doing a lot because he does go for that. And Gyro Ball does like 50 HP to Infernape, which is a lot in the long run. So I just go for the U-turn. It does a lot. Well, it does a decent amount. Not enough for me to think that he's like especially defensive or anything. He might actually be physically defensive, so that's basically what I'm thinking at this point. So I'm just going to send out Infernape. Even if he's special defensive, Ferrothorn cannot take a Fire Blast ever, unless it's like Occaberry in the rain, and it's a Chimchar. Knowing that Ferrothorn is important to him, and that he has a Garchomp and a Latias, I said to send out DNC, because I feel like it's safe at this point. He's definitely going to switch out, and I am right. So I'm just going to go for the Moonblast, because if it's Ferrothorn, residual damage, and that's what happens. It takes half health from the Moonblast, or it doesn't take half, but it deals around half from the residual damage earlier. So I decided to send out Scizor because basically it's a free opportunity for me to roost as he sends out Gyarados, because well, he predicted that. So it's not actually a time for me to roost. This is a time for me to flee. So I'm going to go for the U-turn. I didn't want him to go for Waterfall, as I inevitably sent out my Diggersby because it's Focus Sash and it's the only Pokemon that can take a hit because Dragonite cannot, because Mold Breaker. So, yeah. Just gonna send out Diggersby. I don't need him that much. He was gonna be really nice, but this is a better time to have him. So, it's gonna let him Mega Evolve. He has to. And he's just gonna go for the return. Or he's gonna go for the Waterfalls. I go for the return. And I know that Mega Evolution is basically mandatory for him because he needs to survive the return. So, it's actually gonna be really helpful because he's this slow. So, even though he switches out now and I go for the quick attack, basically, Stealth Rock is going to make him weakened. Not enough to kill him, but really weak. And basically, any priority can kill him. Infernape, Dragonite, anything will kill him. Scizor's Bullet Punch, he's not a threat anymore, which is really important. So, yeah, I just take that time to send out the NC after Diggersby bites the dust. And this is a free opportunity for me to Moonblast because, well, why not? It does roughly like 35% to Clefable, and this is just a great opportunity for me to set up my Stealth Rocks because, as you can see, this is the Wish set. I don't have to worry about anything. Well, I didn't have to worry about anything anyways, but I don't even have to worry about Scizor anymore because Heal Bell, yeah, Wish sets often carry Heal Bell or they carry Thunder Wave, so I don't have to worry about Flamethrower. So I go for the Diamond Storm because, well, I still don't really want to send out Scizor just yet, as Clefable goes for the Wish, and it does a clean, like, 60%, so that is really, 60%, so it's really solid, and it means that it's definitely going to protect now, definitely, as I go out to Sonic 2 still. Well, it's either going to do that or send out Ferrothorn, and, well, guess what? Scizor beats both, so I'm deciding, okay, perfect opportunity to just roost, heal up. Unfortunately, I don't have superpower and I don't have knockoff, so I can't knock this thing off, but I can still just U-turn spam and just get into a good position. I plan on sending out Infernape, just getting in on hopefully Elite Seed, and well, just plan things and going well there. So I go for the roost again, just making sure I'm well recovered, as Ferrothorn goes for the spikes, so this is 100% confirmed, basically, that Garchomp is at least Stealth Rocks. I'm thinking Tank Chomp, but it definitely has Stealth Rocks because Clefable doesn't have Stealth Rocks. I'm 90% sure it doesn't. So it's going to be Garchomp. Plus, it's switched out earlier, so it's definitely not going to be Scarfed or anything. So, yeah. I'm just going to U-turn. It sends out Talonflame, takes the Stealth Rocks damage as I go out into DNC. Just be a really nice opportunity to just go for another Moon Blast, but not Moon Blast, Diamond Storm, because either way, Ferrothorn's not going to be like, oh, I want to take a Diamond Storm, oh ho ho ho, so I just go for the Diamond Storm. I figured that it's kind of risky because maybe he's actually playing a Sack Talonflame, because, I mean, it's not like Spikes, he's going to set up Spikes, so Latias probably isn't going to defog, because Spikes is really important to whittle down my Infernape, who is also a great threat to his team because he doesn't have to worry about, you know, getting passively stalled out unlike Scizor, and it beats Ferrothorn. Clefable does considerable amounts of Garchomp, and now it actually can revenge kill Mega Gyarados if it ever decides to rear its ugly head. So I'm just gonna go for the Fire Blast. Even Ferrothorn won't like to take that, but I miss. Doesn't matter. I hope it doesn't, at least. And I just switch out now. And I go out into my Latios. And the reason is because there's no way he's gonna go for Dragon Tail or Outrage, because I have a DNC, and getting a free switch into DNC is gonna be terrible. So he goes for the safer play, goes for Stealth Rocks, as I go for Draco Meteor. And this, I could have predicted, but it wasn't worth the risk. I wanted to take up Garchomp. I can just KO this thing with a Psyshock. I didn't even bother defogging. Maybe I should have, because Spikes is actually considerable because it weakens Infernape, which is pretty bad. So I should have gone for defog, but I didn't want to risk the Moonblast. But I'm just going to go for a Psyshock again. I don't really want to risk anything. I probably should have gone for defog, but whatever. I didn't want to take the Moonblast, so I'm just gonna switch out, go out into my Scizor, taking the hazards because ain't nobody got time for defog, tanking the Gyro Ball, and being able to roost it off next turn. So that is exactly what I do, as Ferrothorn goes for Leech Seed. And, well, that's going to be annoying because that means Ferrothorn gets to heal more. But that is alright because I got La U-Turn So guess what I do with the U-Turn I'm passing my driver's test. And as I send out after the Iron Barbs and the Rocky Helmet, this is where knockoff would have been really nice. Hint, hint, as I go out to Olympus, taking a lot from the spikes and the hazards from Stealth Rocks. He goes for another layer of rocks. This would have been really nice if I got a defog off because that means Infernape would have been able to go for the close combat this turn and be able to live the rough skin and Rocky Helmet damage. And that would have been key because that would have been Garchomp, one of the biggest threats, would have been so weakened. And if he sent a Latias, that would have been great too because Scizor has Pursuit. You know what I could have done? I could have just sent it out, be like, hey Latias, I know what you're doing, I don't like what you're doing, Pursuit, bop, dead. But no, because my Infernape said I gotta send out Latios because it's faster, as basically sacks Gyarados, because what can it do? It lives with like this much HP, which is super annoying and super crucial because I go for the Draco Meteor. That means I have -2 attack. So Clefable ain't got no problem just going for the Wish and healing up. So that has one benefit, just one, kind of, not really, but has the benefit of me being able to defog and be like, no, just be like, no, to the hazards. It's too late, but still, it's better than never, because now at least Dragonite has multi-scale, and at least has a chance at multi-scale. So just gonna switch out, let him protect, let him do his stuff. I'm just gonna send out Scizor. I'm gonna try to get a roost off, but no, turns out Clefable switches out to Garchomp, but that's actually good for me because guess what? I can just roost it off. So what do you think I do? I roost as Garchomp goes for the Dragon Tail, and well, the reason why I knew that is because like in that turn, because it goes last, unless that Garchomp's like, I don't know, level 80, then I'm pretty sure I outspeed. So I just go for the Side Shock. I really didn't need it. I just needed to weaken Garchomp enough so Dragonite and Scizor honestly could have an easier time. But he misses Dragon Tail, and again, as I said, I was just sacking Latios, but it could actually be important because he sacks Clefable. And well, I just went for Side Shock because I just want to weaken it so Scizor could have an easier time, just be like bop 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 bop, and then take out Garchomp. But whatever, Dart and Dragonite. So yeah, Jordan bites the dust. Rip in peace, Latios. I cry every time. So he recovers. I just go out to my DNC, and what I do is I go for the Diamond Storm because, well, what else would I do? What else would I do? I could have sent out Dragonite, but I figured that'd be, I don't want him to send out Ferrothorn, and then I would lose my multi-scale, and it's just a waste of a turn. So I just go for the DNC, get the Diamond Storm defense boost, with spoiler alerts, it doesn't mean jack because, well, Ferrothorn gets sent out, and I still can't take a Gyro Ball, so I'm just gonna switch out, go out into my Scizor. I'm just gonna be able to sponge it. SpongeBob SquarePants. I should have named my Scizor SpongeBob, but oh well. So I go for the U-turn, goes to the Gyro Ball, does nothing. So it deals a lot, enough for it. If I had knockoff, I'd be able to kill it way long time back. So yeah, I'm just gonna switch out, go out into my Dragonite as I take multi-scale, which wouldn't have mattered if I had knockoff, but I gotta go for the Earthquake, because I don't want to take Iron Barb's damage because Life Orb Latias kills after the range I'm at, combined with Outrage. So combined with Rocky Helmet from Outrage and Iron Barbs. So yeah, that definitely wouldn't have hurt, because now I gotta switch out into my Scizor, sack it, when in reality I could have sent out Dragonite after Latias went for the Draco to kill Dragonite, set up on this with Roost and just beat Garchomp, and that would have been the end of the game. But no, unfortunately, now basically it comes out to a speed tie. So I know Latias is going to switch. So I'm just going to go for a Diamond Storm, just praying for a defense boost so I don't have to rely on a speed tie. But unfortunately, that doesn't happen. So I'm just going to have to go off with a Moonblast, take out the Garchomp, and it comes out all down to a speed tie. But before I do that, I just want to make sure Dragonite actually does something. And I'm just going to switch out, go out into my Dragonite as she goes for the Psyshock. And that's terrible. It's terrible, because Dragonite's low enough where Iron Barbs and Rocky Helmet combined would have taken it out, but not one individually, so knockoff would have been really nice. So Dragonite bites the dust, and well, now it's up to who wins the speed tie, me or Latias. And the spoiler alerts, Latias wins, because you see it right there. It's not a spoiler alert, doofus. And well, I lose. So GG's. It's a great match. I really gotta carry knockoff. So that's what I'm gonna do after this. So yeah, it was a great match. Really close match. And that's all I gotta say, guys.
Oh, and for any of you wondering how I got this so stable, it's because I've been recording using a shoe this whole time. As you can see here. Thank you, base shoe. Yeah.